Hey guys, it's me, Human Entity 4 here. For those of you who didn't know, I've been in Ireland since January. I'm studying abroad here for the semester, so that explains the lack of videos. But I went to locals today here in Ireland, which is a lot different than the ones in America. They're a lot bigger because there isn't really like many different locals here in the city of Dublin. So basically everyone shows up here, and I went X-1 with my Hazy King deck. And I've been testing this for about a month now, and I finally got all the pieces together to finally go and take it, and win X1 is really good. I got third place. I lost to the guy who ended up getting first in like the finals, which is perfectly fine. And my deck profile is a really weird one compared to most others. Like, and there are a lot of people playing Fire Kings there today, and many people were comparing it to mine. I was showing them the combos of how mine in particular works compared to others. It's not like anything else I've seen for the past month on YouTube looking at different profiles, but I'm just going to jump right into it because I filmed this before and it was like a 16-minute video, and no one wants to watch a 16-minute video. I'm just going to go through it as fast as I can, and feel free to message me or comment if you have any questions about how any of the components of the deck work that I don't specifically explain in this video. Alrighty? So, we got two garunix, who is basically our main beat stick. If he gets destroyed by a card effect, he comes back at the standby phase and nukes the entire field, and he's basically the big boss monster of this deck. We have three Fire Avatar Barong, and he is an 1800 normal summonable monster with 200 defense for Fire Dog and Rekindling, and if he gets destroyed by a card effect, you can search any Fire King card in the deck, such as your most broken spells, Onslaught of the Fire King, and Circle of the Fire King. Next, for the Hazy cards, 3 Hazy Flame Cerberus. He's basically our walking Sangan / Barbaros. You can normal summon him, but his attack becomes 1000. He also has 200 defense, just like our Barong, for Rekindling and for a Fire Dog. And if he gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you could search any Hazy card. There's a lot of searching on this deck. Next, we got 2 Peryton, who's the rescue rabbit of the deck, and you contribute him and discard a fire monster to bring out 2 Hazys from the deck, and you will normally bring out a Cerberus and a copy of our next guy. Hazy Flame. Ooh, looks like cards are out of order. Here we go. Hazy Flame Sphynx. Sorry, ignore that tefnuit. He comes later. Hazy Flame Sphynx is basically the guessing game. You can mill the top card of the deck when he is summoned, or at least once per turn anyway, and call it correct monster spell trap. And if you do, you can special summon a fire monster from your graveyard or your hand, which gets very good. Yeah, so Sphynx is very special to the deck because he allows you to summon Basilitrus, which we'll talk about later, with approximately 4 material, and that's really good. And the deck is approximately 20 monsters, 20 spells. It's probably a 50-50 ratio. There's 2 roads to create at the end, but again, I'm jumping ahead. Also, one good thing about Hazys, which I didn't mention, is they can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects, which is great. So no Effect Veiler, no Compulse, no anything. They can't be targeted, which is amazing. Next, we got 3 Tefnuit, which we all know what Tefnuit does. He's basically our Cyber Dragon, special summonable level 6, and yeah, if you tribute him for something such as our level 6 Hazys, you get to bring out a tyhoon number 2, which allows you to exceed into Basilitrus because you need fire rank 6 materials. Next, we got 2 very shiny Fire Dogs. And everyone should know what Fire Dog does by now. The only reason I don't run 3 is because there's not enough room in the deck. And between Tenki and 2 Fire Dog, you have plenty of ways to search Barong, and Cerberus is perfectly fine if you draw him by himself, because you'll probably just either, your opponent won't want to kill him because they don't want to give you the search, or you can sack him yourself with something like Circle of the Fire Kings. And 2 very interesting cards for this deck, Brotherhood Bear and Brotherhood Gorilla. I'll talk about them each individually for a second because they're pretty important. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Bear is really important. I just got him today for a ridiculous amount of money. He is so expensive, but he is so good. Basically, tenki can search them out, and you pop a fire formation card to pop a monster on the field, and that doesn't mean just your opponent's, it means yours also. So if you have a monster such as Barong or Garunix that gets an effect when it's destroyed, or your Cerberus also, then you can pop it yourself and then continue to like activate your own shenanigans, which can get very good, or get over an opponent's monster, which is large and in its way to push for game. Gorilla is important because we do not run MST in this deck. There is not enough room. They were sided today, and I'm not going to go over the side deck because it was just my Dragoonity side deck, except I shoved in 2 MST and the 3rd Decree, and that's really about the only difference. And I think the only cards I sided all day were like MST and DD Crow, and that was really about it. But Gorilla is the exact same thing as Bear, except that you pop spell traps. Onto the spells. 2 Onslaught of the Fire Kings. This is your A Hero Lives themed for the deck. If your opponent controls monsters and you do not, you can special summon a Wing Beast type monster or Beast Warrior Beast or basically anything from the deck for free, and then it gets destroyed during the end phase. So cough cough, insert Garunix. You can just play 1 spell card and special summon a 2700 beat stick from the deck that will die at the end phase and come back as a nuking Dark Hole. It gets ridiculous. And we don't run 3 because between 3 of this and 3 tefnuit, that's 6 cards, which is too many that depend on you having no monsters and your opponent having, so it was getting a bit cloggy, but 2 worked out great today. Plus you can always search them with barong in a pinch. Next, 3 Circle of the Fire Kings. This allows you to do so many shenanigans. It is your themed Forbidden Lance. What happens is you destroy a fire monster you control, wink wink nudge nudge, and special summon a fire monster from your graveyard. So say they're about to compulse your Barong. What you can do is you can chain circle the Fire Kings, destroy Barong, and special summon, I don't know, a Garunix in your graveyard. And so that's basically your Forbidden Lance-like effect, and during your standby phase you will get the Barong search for, oh, I don't know, another Circle of the Fire Kings to destroy your Garunix next turn. But Circle can also be activated during the battle phase to help you push for game, so you can attack and then chain circle and special summon another big monster from your graveyard to attack again. So it gets just crazy. The deck's just ridiculous. It's like a $30 starter deck, and really the only expensive cards in this deck are like 2 cards in the extra deck and the bear. And besides that, everything is like pennies, and you don't even need the bear. It's just nice. 2 Forbidden Lance. This is basically more like Circle of the Fire Kings and protects our monsters that we don't necessarily want to pop, such as Bear and Fire Dog, and yeah, we know what Forbidden Lance does. 3 Fire Formation Tenki. This is your themed Rhoda, which has 5 targets, your Bear, your Gorilla, and 3 Barong. And you pop this to activate the effects of Bear and Gorilla to either pop a monster or pop a spell trap. 2 Seal, which searches our tefnuits. 2 Hazy Pillar, which is normal target you search out with your Cerberus, and it allows you to normal summon Hazy Flames without a tribute. And there's another ability that says you can equip a Hazy monster from your hand or field to another monster as an exceed material, which is great, but you don't really get that effect too often. 2 Rekindling, the brokenness, it just, you know what it does. Between Cerberus and Fire Dog and Barong, that's 8 targets, and Rekindling is great, and unfortunately early game it's dead, but late game you can just special summon like 3 Cerberus and attack for 6,000 and overlay them into a Basilatris. It gets pretty damn broken. And then the Trinity, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, and Dark Hole. So yeah, unfortunately this video is going to be a bit long too. And last but not least, 2 Royal Decree. We hate back row, we hate Macros Cosmos, and this helps protect you when you don't play Mystical Space Typhoon. And it also keeps all the monsters' spells pretty even for the Sphynx effect. Anyway, going to the extra deck really quickly. Oops. 2 Basilatris, basically our walking BLS. He gains a new ability for each number of materials that you have. You need to summon him with at least 2 or more, what did I just say? 2 or more level 6 fire monsters. When he's got 2 material, you can detach one to banish a monster on the field or in the graveyard, and it can be set, which is good. So that's great. Then even if it gets even better than that, 3, he gains 200 attack for each material. 4, he cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Sorry, you cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. So 4 is basically the highest you ever get it, and you can get it pretty consistently by tributing tefnuit for peryton, bringing out a tyhoon, and then tributing peryton for his effect, bring out a sphynx and a cerebus, and call sphynx effect right to special summon peryton or something else from the graveyard to exceed for rank 4 basilisks on a pretty consistent basis. Have a lance or a decree behind it, and there's no way your opponent's getting over it. 1 photon strike bouncer. We know what he does. He's great. 1 Excabile. The only reason you'd ever use this over your basilisks is if you want to equip a Cerberus and pop something else, and then overlay with our next card, Gaia Dragoon. And the Cerberus would die by game mechanics, allowing you to search for a Hazy card, which can be very nice. 1 Diamond Direwolf. Unfortunately, the Ireland version. The coloring on cards here in Ireland is very different than in the States, so that's pretty unfortunate. But it looks like a bit cloudy and not as cool as the American one. But Diamond Direwolf's a great card. He's basically Scrap Dragon Exceed, pop a beast, Wing Beast or Beast Warrior, and pop a card on your opponent's side of the field. And like Scrap Dragon, he can pop himself. Maelstrom. He's good for stalling. This is not a full extra deck, and I didn't even use the full side deck today, and I still went like X-1 in like 5-6 rounds. It was pretty ridiculous. But anywho, Maelstrom, he's good for stall if need be. You know what he does. I did not use him once today, but he's still good to have. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, Tiger King. Basically, you make him and you can search out a tenki from the deck if you're really needing that barong or gorilla or bear. And I mean, he's not bad, and he's also fire. So if you have like Gozen match out or something, he's your boy. And then 2 cards that didn't really matter, but I threw them in because we have space. Chimeritic Forge Dragon, because I side Cyber Dragons, and in case you run into like Gigiras or something, it's always nice to have. And Stardust, in case for some odd reason you end up monster reborning their tuner, or you somehow acquire one. In one of my games, I was facing Malefics, and they creature swapped an Effect Veiler to me while I had a garunix, so I could have technically made a Stardust, but it's just there for reasons like that, or I might start using Starlight Road. I really don't know, but it's not bad, and we got the space, so why not? That's really the deck. Unfortunately, this version of the video is not that much shorter, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, tell me if there's any questions about the game mechanics of this deck, because it's a really good deck, and it's really cheap. It's basically 3 structure deck and a whole bunch of commons from Cosmo, minus Bear, and Diamond Direwolf, and Tiger King. But Humanity 4, signing out. Thanks for watching.